I was the head of department though when we commissioned the building and did the original design work and specification for engineering. So I've been involved since the very early days really in terms of what kit we've got on site. And very early on we built a relationship. We met with Louis at MAHA at the Autosport show, I believe it was. And they were really involved then in the development of the resource that we've now got at the university. A lot of it, I think, was to do with how keen they were to really get involved, and that's really key for us, especially with obviously the links with the students. So to have that enthusiasm, we've had regularly people coming down and again showing, doing the calibrations and everything obviously for it, but going beyond that and then trying to understand what we do and how we can build a better relationship and contribute more to the educational side of it, but also to supporting what we do in terms of the motorsport activities that we run ourselves. So we try and strike a good balance between keeping everybody safe and keeping them hands off enough that they're safe, but then getting, as they become more proficient in the use of more advanced engineering equipment, to really get them trained up to be able to run this sort of equipment themselves. Because fundamentally that's what they're going to be doing as a job when they leave us. So the more real hands-on training that we can provide them, then obviously that's the better for their careers as they move on after. It's a chance for them to see real, commercial quality equipment. A lot of universities have, we have an educational equivalent for teaching. We try and avoid that as best that we can, so the equipment that we do have here is the standard industry kit that is used and they'll get to use as they move off into their careers.
So the course covers a wide range of motorsport applications, dynamics, material testing, where we get to use the labs for more practical stuff, as well as aerodynamic testing. We've got an educational wind tunnel, where we can take aerodynamic principles, test them within the wind tunnel, and analyse our results compared to CFD stuff. And then a key one for me would be motorsport dynamics, the module, where we learn about load distribution, load transfer, setup of the car and how we can change that depending on the data we get, and we can take that into our race team that we have here.
When I first came down here for a test today, the big thing we had was one of the race cars was on the dyno, and I got to actually see the car applied onto the dyno and see what it was actually like. You get to hear the car, you get to feel the car, and that definitely was like a big surprise. And then you've got the bike dyno as well, so someone who wasn't as interested in the bike section, I still found it really interesting to see. We have like a carbon fibre bike that was on there, and they both going at the same time.
Within Foundation year you do like tester workshop sessions going around with different things for a week, and we touched upon the dyno for one of the sessions. It was very informative for what it was, for not knowing anything to do with it. You come away with not as much knowledge as you would, but more than you went in with, which I found very helpful with just practical side of it.
So this is our air intake. We've done external aerodynamics and internal aerodynamic CFD studies, and then we've manufactured this in-house in our composites department. The students have led that activity, both using resin infusion and pre-preg, and we test that both obviously on circuit, but more importantly on the dyno before we go to circuit to check that it has no adverse impact. And actually we saw tangible improvements on the dynamometer even statically with this airbox, so that was a good development project that we've used the MAHA as an integral part of.